couple of days ago, Nintendo finally gave us more information on their newest console, the Switch. Unfortunately, I was a little bit disappointed. Here are 5 things that I wish Nintendo had talked about during their conference. Number 1, specs. We did hear a whole bunch of rumours back when all we knew about the Switch was its codename, NX. And when that first trailer dropped, Nvidia did come out and say that it was using a variant of the same chip they used in their Shield tablet, the Tegra X1. There has been some analysis done in other videos, and Digital Foundry also had some insider information I think they shared. But there has still been nothing concrete from Nintendo themselves. I'm talking about CPU speeds, GPU, teraflops, and all the other hardware specs and buzzwords that Microsoft and Sony gave us when they announced their consoles all those years ago. I guess we'll just have to wait and see until it's finally released and someone does a teardown and some benchmarking. Number 2, price. Nintendo did announce the official Japanese and US prices for the Switch at their event, but left other territories out in the cold. It was only later on their official localized websites that they came out with recommended retail prices for other territories, which in my case was $469 for Australia. This was an initial shock for me, as I was expecting it to be much lower, considering it's a lot more underpowered than the Xbox and PS4, which you can get with a game or two for cheaper. But when I compared it to the US price of $299, which also didn't include tax, whereas ours does, it didn't come out too bad. In today's exchange rate, $299 US rounds up to about 400 in Australian dollars. Add a 10% GST on top of that, so $40, and Nintendo are really only gouging us about $30 extra Australian tax. Keep in mind that this is a recommended retail price, so you might be able to find a deal for cheaper at retailers once it actually comes out, and hopefully they'll include a game as well. Unless you're like me and want to go all digital, which brings me to my next point. Number 3, Virtual Console. Again, before the Switch was announced, there were rumours that it would finally support GameCube games on their Virtual Console. But nothing of the sort, in fact nothing to do with the Virtual Console, was announced at their event. Now I can kind of understand that, as it wasn't really the focus, but if it was such a big deal, I don't know why they didn't bring it up in some of their press releases afterwards. Maybe it was just a rumour after all. Shame, because I've been really hankering for a Virtual Console where I can play every single Nintendo game, from the NES all the way up to the Wii U, as well as all their handhelds in between, for a long time. There's nothing saying that they won't do that in future, we just don't know about it now. Please Nintendo, don't make us have to keep all our old hardware and physical media when we all know the future is digital. In fact, screw the future is now! Number 4, Nintendo accounts. Nintendo's online services have been infamous for a long time now. While Microsoft and Sony got on the bandwagon years ago with the PSN and Xbox Live, Nintendo hasn't had as much success with Nintendo clubs and accounts, and there's probably something else in there I'm missing as well. While we did learn that they will be introducing an online service for online play, we don't know exactly what that's going to entail. All we do know is that they're going to be offering what amounts to a month-long demo of a classic NES or Super NES game, which we'll have to buy once that month is out. For someone who's probably not going to do a whole lot of online gaming, it makes the whole thing sound kind of pointless to me. Hopefully, Nintendo will hear some of the internet's backlash and make some changes later on. Number 5, separate screens. Along with the 2 SKUs or SKUs or however else you want to pronounce it, Nintendo did announce that you could buy a whole bunch of accessories, including another dock for the Switch to plug into a second TV, but they didn't say if you would eventually be able to get a second Switch tablet on its own. Now I have a wife and 2 kids who love the hell out of the Wii U and the 3DS, and sometimes they're going to want to play their own games at the same time. I'd love to be able to buy a separate Switch tablet for each of them, that they can pop into the dock whenever they want to play on a big screen, or play handheld on their own. I certainly don't want to have to keep breaking up fights whenever they each want to have a turn, or have them break or put their dirty hands all over my nice clean Switch. So those are the main things I hope to see out of the Switch. There are a few things I also wanted to see, like an achievement system and family sharing, but we'll see if Nintendo are open to listening to the fans. Is it going to stop me from buying one? As long as it's the only place I can play mainline Mario, Zelda and all the other Nintendo franchises, nope. Is there anything else I may have missed, or ideas any of you out there might have? Leave them in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.